The process of conception is magical, miraculous, and is always wanted by all. Conception involves a key function called fertilization. Fertilization is a normal process of formation of embryo which develops further over 9 months in your womb. Your baby is conceived when the sperm cells from your husband unite with the egg cells from your body. This union is called conception and marks the beginning of pregnancy. The stage for your baby is laid 14 days prior to your regular menstrual cycle. When a mature ovum is released from your ovary, ready for fertilization. This is called ovulation, and the mature egg is picked up by your fallopian tube and is rapidly transported along it. A male deposits millions and millions of sperms in the vagina at a single ejaculation. However, only a few thousands are lucky enough to enter the uterine cavity and migrate through the fallopian tube. Quite a marathon race this, where many contest, but only a few can last the entire course. There is more to come. When actual process of fertilization begins, only 300 to 500 can actually reach the ovum. Now, out of these select few who have reached the ovum, only one, the best and the healthiest sperm, penetrates the ovum and wins the race. The rest are denied entry. Truly a race where only the fittest survives. After penetration, the male sperm cell and the woman's egg cell fuse and become a single cell called zygote. The step next to this fusion is fission. The zygote starts dividing itself into multiples of 2. Thus, it undergoes symmetrical division to form a 4, 8, 16 cell stage and finally becomes a cluster of cells resembling the mulberry fruit and is called morula. The morula undergoes biological changes and is transformed into blastocyst. The tissue-dissolving enzyme which the blastocyst secretes dissolves the uterine wall. This facilitates its entry inside. Once it is implanted inside the uterine walls, the original point of entry is sealed. This implantation of the blastocyst occurs on the 6th day after fertilization, corresponding to the 20th day of the menstrual cycle. The entire process of fertilization is over by the 10th or 11th day after fertilization. Gradually, this implanted blastocyst evolves into an embryo and then the fetus over the period of 9 months.
Having a baby is a dream of every couple. This presentation would help you understand how you can turn your dream into reality. So, let us begin. Failure of fusion leads to failure to conceive. However, there are many other reasons why conception may not occur. For all these problems, there are different techniques available that would help you have your own baby.
This presentation is meant for all those infertile couples who would like to conceive and have their own baby. Let us get oriented to the solution of your problem, which would bypass nature's hurdles. Modern advances have offered a really impressive way to deal with infertility.
Intrauterine insemination is a simple procedure of introducing washed sperms into uterine cavity just after ovulation. In this process, the progress of follicles is monitored by ultrasonography till ovulation. Once ovulation is induced, either naturally or with hormonal injections. Washed sperm concentrate is introduced to time the process of natural fertilization. In many cases, this will be highly successful.
A live baby can be developed in a test tube in early stages, which is later transferred to the mother's womb for further development. This entire process is known as in vitro fertilization or IVF. It means the initial stages of baby making takes place in a special environment outside your body. Isn't it great? Let us now talk about how exactly this is done. Now you know that if fertilization doesn't occur, you will not conceive. In such a case, it is possible for you to conceive with the help of assisted reproductive technology using a process called in vitro fertilization or IVF. In this process, the sperm cell and the egg cell are combined in a lab dish for fertilization. After fertilization, the resulting embryo is then transferred to the uterus for implantation. There are many reasons of fertilization not occurring in the natural course. IVF is a successful weapon to deal with this difficulty. In short, it is an effort to duplicate nature's miracle. Over 1 million babies have been born worldwide after IVF. Let's take a tour of the complete IVF process. IVF is done in a stepwise manner. Initially, the ovary is made to grow many follicles at a time with the help of hormonal injections. This is called superovulation, and the follicular growth is monitored by sonography. We hope to get you to grow 5 to 12 mature follicles of the size of 16 to 18 millimeters. At this point, a HCG injection induces ovulation and the mature eggs can be collected by ultrasound-guided aspiration. This way, follicular fluid containing an egg is sucked out through the needle into a test tube, one by one. This skilled procedure can retrieve 4 to 16 eggs over 10 to 40 minutes. The aspirated follicular fluid is then examined by the embryologist in the IVF lab under stereo zoom microscope for good quality eggs. These are washed in medium, graded for their maturity, and then transferred into the carbon dioxide incubator. After 2 to 6 hours, insemination can be done. The same day, sperms of the husband are separated from seminal plasma by sperm washing. The washed sperms are used to inseminate the eggs. About 100,000 sperms per milliliter are placed with each egg in a separate dish containing culture medium. The dishes are placed in a carbon dioxide incubator at 37 degrees centigrade. 18 hours after insemination, the fertilized eggs are identified. The fertilized embryos left in culture continue to divide and have 2 to 8 cells of equal size with clear cytoplasm after 48 to 72 hours. This is the time when the embryo is ready for transfer to the uterus. It is done on OPD basis with mild sedation. 1 to 3 embryos suspended in a drop of culture medium are drawn into a transfer catheter. The doctor guides the tip of the loaded catheter through the cervix and deposits the embryos into the uterine cavity. This takes 10 to 20 minutes. Bed rest is advised for a few hours after this procedure. By superovulation, it is possible to have many eggs available for fertilization with sperms, resulting in many embryos. These embryos can be preserved by freezing them at -196 degrees centigrade in suspended animation for future use, even for many years. For treating male infertility or for those patients whose sperm have not been able to fertilize the eggs in an IVF cycle, the newer and effective technique of ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, is now available. In this technique, a single live sperm is injected into the center of cytoplasm of the egg in order to achieve fertilization. Sequential, fresh, or frozen semen samples may be used. There are many options available in this method. Thus, male infertility can be effectively dealt. Cost of total IVF treatment would depend on IVF program and technologies involved for getting successful outcome of IVF, cost of hormonal treatment involved, cost of ultrasound scans and blood investigations, hospitalization and consultations. Thus, with proper selection of an IVF clinic and using modern technology, you can maximize your chances of achieving a favorable result, so you have peace of mind that you did your best. The IVF Lab can help you in your quest for beginning a new life. We wish you all the best.